All right. We are talking about a hot topic. And maybe it's not a hot topic, but it's something that I wanted to elaborate on because I think hearing it is one thing and then reading it is a whole different thing. And it's easy to take things not the way that they're intended unless you actually hear it out. So, that's what I want to do for you guys today is that I want to talk about this because I think it's so important for us as parents and for ultimately what I believe is the huge decision maker in your household is the grocery shopper. And this is what I threw up on my Facebook page of what my personal opinions are on this is that the person who does the grocery shopping is directly responsible for the health of the family. And that's what I threw up there. And it really is so dang true to me. And the reason why I'm going to start to elaborate on different things about this, but the reason why I know it's true is because it's held true in my family. And the grocery shopper is myself, and I believe that it is a huge responsibility that I never really thought was a responsibility. I looked at it more as a chore that I have to go do the grocery shopping, and it's just one of those things that I have to go do. Instead, I've completely shifted my mindset on it, and I look at it as like, honestly, it's my responsibility. And just as corny as it sounds, but you know, with you know, with greater responsibility. No, 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 no. How does this say? With more responsibility. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm trying to say. I was trying to recite Spider-Man apparently, and I can't even think of what the freaking quote is. But um and you guys throw it out, but that's really what I think. I think, when you have more responsibility on your, it's just a big responsibility. And so some of the feedback that I received is that someone said, nope, being uninvolved in those decisions is also part of the responsibility. And I don't necessarily disagree. I do believe that when both parents are making the decisions together, it makes the process so much smoother. You both are on the same page. It's very helpful when you're able to have those discussions back and forth with one another on what's important to you, what type of food that you want to see when you open up the pantry, what type of food you don't want to see the kids eating. I do believe that 100% that is something that both parents should take on together. But let's let's be real. That's not the reality. Sometimes health in our lives hits us at different times than our partner. And it's up to us when it if to take on the responsibility or the lead for that, because we're not always on the same page. We don't always see eye to eye. And if health is not important to your spouse or your significant other or your boyfriend or girlfriend, then you need to take the lead, because I promise you that other person will start to follow. They're going to see you doing it, and they're going to follow. This is the same thing with kids. And we were one time sitting here in this, I was probably sitting in this exact same spot, and Pete told me that I'm responsible for the health of our family because I do the grocery shopping. And I was pissed. I get so dang defensive, and I think I get even more defensive when it comes from my husband. And I was like, wait a minute, that's so not fair, right? Why would all the responsibility of feeding our children and our us be, why is that on me? And I realized that I sounded like a schoolgirl when I say that out loud. And anytime you start this your conversation with that's not fair, you're already in a losing mentality. And I since then, shifted my thoughts on this. And I realized that it 100% is my responsibility because I want the responsibility. I don't want to give it to Pete. I don't want to give it to my children. And who better person to be responsible for the health of our family than myself? And I am perfectly competent to do this. And I know that if I'm going to look at anybody and blame them, I'm going to be blaming myself. And since I've really owned this, it has made I've been doing a great job with it. And so I know that when I go grocery shopping that I have to look at the ingredients. I do think about the foods that I want my family to be eating, and I do look at the foods that I don't want my family to be eating. That's why I spend the time the way that I do and choose to. And I don't get mad that this is on my shoulders whatsoever. All right? So really you have to own it. That's 100% the answer. Whoever is shopping for those groceries, you have to own it. You have to go educate yourself. You have to be able to read a ingredient label properly and know what ingredients you want to see and what ingredients you don't want to see and what don't want to be bringing home. You have to understand, and once you start to understand these things, how to navigate in the grocery store and what foods to avoid and what aisles to go down and where to find your favorite products, it's going to make this process so much easier. But it takes time and it takes patience. And, by no means are you going to get everything right. And that's okay. So I go back. I understand that you like it is more than just like you want both people on board for this. In fact, you would want the whole entire family on board, ideally, right? The kids as well. But that is not always the situation, and you can't expect it to be the situation. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to just throw your hands back and say, well, my partner's not on board, so screw it? Or are you gonna keep your family moving forward and progressing? That's how I look at it. Another comment I got was in regards to this was, I mean, not really. I can try to force healthy eating and it still doesn't happen because then the dinner gets refused and not eaten at all. Holy moly. I don't know how many times that I have cooked and I'm like, dang, I am making a masterpiece right now. And I am pumped and jazzed and I can't wait to eat it. I know my husband's gonna love it and my kids better love it, right? And they take one bite or even one look and they're like not having it. There's like no way, mom, we're gonna eat this. Or they're complaining and I'm just getting I put all of this work, all of this effort, and these kids don't even eat it. What the heck, right? And I'm pissed. I'm like, screw this. I don't even know why I'm bothering and putting in all this effort and reading these dang labels when all they want is chicken nuggets and, french fries or mac and cheese. Why don't I just do that? That's 10 times easier. And I know because I have felt this way and I thought this way. And I also know that kids will not starve themselves, they will not go hungry. And when they deny the food that they're going to deny the food. It is they're not gonna like everything. And that's okay. You're gonna get that resistance, especially when you're starting out, starting to feed the kids more healthy food options. They're not used to it. Their taste buds have not shifted. They are used to all the processed sugary foods that they've been putting in their bodies. You think all of a sudden that they're going to like the veggie casserole? There's probably you're gonna have a hard time with that. But they will not starve themselves. And by no means is the answer to go run to fast food and get them something that they're going to eat or to go into your pantry and make them a box mac and cheese. Like that is not the right answer. In fact, it is a very much enabling this, and you're not serving anyone, especially your child, by putting those foods into their bodies. And we think we're doing something for them, but in reality, we're really doing something for ourselves because seeing them eat makes us feel good. but not really thinking about the whole big picture. And the big picture is, what is that food doing for the child, and how is that helping them, and how is that you're just creating the vicious cycle that they're always going to go back to those same processed and sugary foods. And it is really about weaning them off of these, because I'm telling you, they will not starve. They will start to eat these foods. They will start to love them. And something that I have done is I've really focused on finding foods that are healthy, that my kids enjoy. And when I see them enjoy it and them eating the great foods, I'm enjoying it as well, of course. But I really encourage you that do not give in. All right, giving in is one of the worst things that you can do. And when my kids do, my kids, not everyone likes what I make. If I think it's a win if one of them loves it, but and if all three, holy moly, we're keeping this on the menu, right? But I constantly have fruit around our house, fruit. And if they're hungry, they can, I always say yes, you can grab any type of fruit that you want after dinner if you are still hungry. And they do, like, they're constantly eating fruit. And that is the best thing that your child can be eating. I'm telling you, 100% is fruit. In fact, us as adults should be eating way more fruit than what we are. So that is my solution, is that I don't force my children to eat the foods. I do encourage them, that we do want you to take one bite, try it, because I know this is new and you won't know if you like it unless you try it. So I do really push a very first bite off their plates. And 9 times out of 10, they end up eating at least half of what I put on there. So that is really my 2 cents on both of those comments, is that it is your responsibility as a person that's buying the groceries. What you buy comes home, and what comes home ultimately gets eaten and is put into your family's bodies. And so we don't necessarily always think of that it's that dramatic, Ava, but it is. And if you don't bring it home, guess what? It doesn't get eaten. And I've kept it like that. And I'm like, dang, if I don't bring it home, most importantly, I most importantly, I'm staying away from it, which is great. And my family is staying away from it, which is awesome. And that's what we can hope to ask for. So it is your responsibility to take that on. Here's a picture of my basic shopping. I have it here so you can take a look at what maybe a typical grocery hit would look like for me. It's loaded with grains, and it's loaded with veggies and beans and legumes, fruit. I have some PB cans of beans, and and a couple other things in there as well. Nuts I see. And that is what I would say where we should all hope and strive to get to. And listen, by no means am I perfect. I have areas in my diet and in our family's diet that I need to could improve and clean up. And this is all part of the journey. We're all at different places, and we're all striving for progress. All right, you guys, I hope that you found this video informational, helpful, give you some perspective on why I think that the person who holds the most responsibility for the health of your family is the dang grocery shopper. You guys, don't forget, when you're at the grocery stores, read those labels. There's some sneaky ones in there that you would never believe that they would put in certain things. And then you're like, what? Are you kidding me? There is what? High fructose corn syrup in my barbecue sauce? And there is, and so, and there's many barbecue sauces that do not have that crap in there. So read your labels, and, if you need any help, we'd love to help you. Much love.